Let me say this as clearly as I can. The United States is not and will never be at war with Islam.
All right, there you have the president yesterday in Turkey, where he continues his overseas trip. There he is addressing the Muslim world. But what kind of message is he sending to the rest of the world? Frank Gaffney is the founder and president of the Center for Security Policy, and he joins us from D.C. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve.
Well, as the president, he's heading back to Washington promptly. Your observation about the trip?
Well, just to pick up on that last point, you can only say we will never be at war with somebody if you're prepared to surrender to them in the event that they choose to wage war on you. And one of the most important issues we face in our time, I think, clearly is understanding what is going on within Islam. And the tragic reality is that despite a lot of what the president said in Turkey and what he has really been saying since his inaugural, seems to miss a fundamental and supremely important point, which is that authoritative Islam, not just some fringe or non-mainstream group, but authoritative Islam practices something called Sharia, which is a theopolitical legal program that is at war with the West, explicitly at war with the West, because its belief is that only Islam can rule the world, and anything that stands in the way of that must be conquered or destroyed. So when the president says this, it suggests, among other things, his speech about how Islam has only contributed great things to the world and how we must deeply engage with Islam. And that Turkey is the model at a moment when the Muslim Brotherhood and sort of the Islamists who seek through a kind of stealthy campaign of jihad are moving this Sharia program forward. I think this suggests a gross misunderstanding of what we're up against, and that means bad policy, probably.
Well, you know, Frank, one of the things throughout his entire tour, he has apologized for the United States and said, you know, my administration much different than the last 8 years. George Bush was never at war with Islam. He was never disrespectful to Islam.
Well, I think, again, George Bush made the same mistake, and I suspect was subjected to the same kinds of influences, notably of the Muslim Brotherhood, that hold that, you can't possibly say that the authorities of Islam seek the destruction of the West, that Sharia is about that program. You have to make nice, you have to pretend that this is really all just a lunatic fringe. In the Swat Valley in Pakistan, we've seen that there is not a moderate Taliban, for example. When Bob Gates, the Secretary of Defense, says we want to see a similar kind of arrangement in Afghanistan, that's not a good thing for the Afghan people or for us. And in Turkey, where we see this creeping, stealthy imposition of Sharia that is actually eliminating what the president went to at the very beginning of his trip, the Ataturk Memorial, the secular kind of government in the Muslim world that I think is the best hope for the people of Islam. That suggests that he really doesn't understand what we're up against here.
All right. Well, you do, and that's why we invited Frank Gaffney on the show. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Steve.
Off we go.